Come here. Welcome to the Famous Foxes Aftermath Show, live every Sunday on Leicester Fan TV. Come on, you Foxes. Good morning, Foxes. How the devil are you? I hope you're well. How's your weekend been so far? Another defeat yesterday. We'll get on to that in a minute. Welcome to the original Sunday morning Leicester City show. Every Sunday morning. Well, you know what day it is. It's Sunday. It's 9:30 a.m. It's time for the Famous Foxes Aftermath show, run by us fans in here for you fans out there. And you know what? Your opinion really does matter. So get them comments in now. Let's get going. It's kickoff time. Come on, you Foxes.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Foxes Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.
Morning all, Sunday morning, the morning after the morning before. How the devil are we? Are we good? Are we well? Are we looking forward to this? I'm not going to have a rant at all. Well, maybe not. It depends. Depends who upsets me today. But I must admit, I am having my own little protest, not against up there, but against the actual team itself. And maybe a little bit against Van Nistelrooy. Last week, I didn't wear anything. I think the week before, I didn't wear anything. I'm not wearing anything Leicester related until we start to see some improvement and the point situation. So this is my own little protest against the team, not against the club, against the team. That's all I'm going to say. Morning, Tim. How are you? Things can only get better. Maybe. Let's hope so. Let's hope so. Morning, Chris. Morning, Wayne. Adrian, how the devil are you? Tom, morning. Morning, Jeremy. Didn't think Arsenal looked that great, but as always, this season we are giving away yes, it's more mistakes, isn't it? Mistakes again. 2 very soft goals. Yes, Carlos, I totally agree with you. We played well yesterday, but it didn't look like scoring for toffee. No, we were gunned down by the Gunners, weren't we? Steve says, sorry, but Ruud not up for a relegation fight. I have said that from the very beginning, but all them flag-waving fans when Cuppa came thought, wow, what a manager. When Cuppa went, sorry, what a manager we've got. We've got Ruud van Nistelrooy. We're going to shoot up the table. How very wrong you were. Rudkin or Rudkin out? Oh, I'm not talking about that. Anything to do with that today. Morning, Nick. Sorry, that comment's just gone. Ruud convinces me every week when he gives his pre-game press conference, but then he doesn't back it up. Yes, I know that feeling. Chris, I know you can't keep changing managers, but is Ruud another Rooney, Lampard, Gerrard, Neville? That's a good point. On that question, we'll bring my young up-and-coming upstart, Reedy. How are you, pal?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, it was a little bit late to the show this morning, the start line this morning. I think he was a bit either hungover or just had a bit of a lie in, the old lad did.
I did have a bit of a lie, to be honest. Yeah. I thought
Chris has asked, before we get on to the football, Chris has asked a very good question here. I know you can't keep changing managers, but is Ruud another Rooney, Lampard, Gerrard, or Neville? Hit me with your thoughts on that question.
No, he's not. I don't get what people's views are on him in a way of like he's not doing the best for the team. You're going into the game yesterday with no expectations to get a result in a way of like they are top 2. If you don't beat these, it's not going to define your season. And yesterday for me, I couldn't really put a foot wrong in reasons why we didn't deserve to get something out of the game. You stay in the game for 80 minutes. You had to change something to try and go for maybe even get a win or just to keep that draw. And the difference was 2 moments of quality, and you can't blame Ruud for that. I do have my opinions on Ruud, and I do feel like in my opinion, he's doing the most he can to keep us up. But I think now, for me, it is down to the quality of the players. Like maybe not focusing in certain moments, like the goals. I don't know, but realistically, there was every chance we should have drew that game yesterday, and 2 moments of quality killed us. And that was my thoughts on yesterday.
See, when the team came out, similar to what Andy's asking here, Ruud van Nistelrooy doesn't know what he's doing and picks the same players. Well, the old saying is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, boy, it's bloody broke at the minute, but he keeps picking the same players. He picks Ayew, he picks Bobby Dick over Ruud, who have been good, who are doing what they need to do. But Ayew, every time he gets the ball, I think he's been told to pass it backwards. And he keeps going backwards, and very rarely he goes forwards. On one attempt, we nearly scored from it. But other than that, he holds the ball up well, but he's not that out-and-out wing player we need. I know we've got injuries and stuff like that, but it's not working. Give the youth a chance. Give Mavadivi another go. But he keeps picking the same front three. Vardy looks so isolated up there. They keep saying, what a waste. You can't keep relying on a 38-year-old playing up top. But that 38-year-old player that's a legend for the club needs the service and creativity that we are seriously lacking. He needs to find a way to get the right people in. Instead of putting square pegs into round holes, he needs to get the round pegs into round holes. And I just don't think he's doing it right.
I do agree with certain aspects of it, in the fact of, as much as I don't want to back Ayew and Bobby Reid, because I don't think they're great, on the other side, I feel like them both give a most consistent game, even though it's not amazing. He does what they need to do, and then that's where they brought on the likes of Mavadidi and Daka to see out the game and try and get a win out of it. But if you put Buonanotte in there, you put Mavadidi in there, and you have a front four of Elkanous, Buonanotte, Mavadidi, and Vardy, you might get exposed when it comes to defending wise, and that's what I feel like AU kind of does give in a way, which I get is a bit too defensive in a way. I would love to see that front four, but we've seen that before. And then the right hand side, because Buonanotte doesn't really go back to defend at times, he leaves JJ or wherever that right back is exposed. Like, there's certain aspects to reasons why he does stuff. Like, I've not been the most happiest when Bobby Reid and Ayew start. I would prefer one of them to be off the pitch and play Mavadidi or Daka or someone like that. But he's obviously doing it, and we got to 80 minutes with that sort of team at 0-0. And I'm pretty sure majority of the people in this chat would have been happy with a 0-0 going out of this game.
But I would have been happy with the draw myself, correct?
Yes, but bringing them players on, and people, I'm guessing some people will be like, well, you shouldn't have done that because we were drawing and you could have gone seeing out the game at 0-0. But the moments where they came on, I feel like we did have a bit of momentum going into the attack where we were getting a few chances. So maybe that's where he brought Mavadidi on to try and spark a bit of light in it. But I see what people's points are, but you've got to look at it in the other way of saying that we got to 80 minutes with that team at 0-0. We didn't go all out attacking and get punished 2 or 3 goals before then. We do.
Stephen's disagreeing with you here. He's gone with we might get exposed if we play Bowen North and front four like that. We're getting exposed already with what we're playing.
Yesterday was one of the better defensive performances I've seen by far.
It was. I totally agree with you on that. But there's a but as well.
It's hard because, again, a brilliant cross in for Marino's first header. You can't. It's just a good cross. You can't. Yeah, it's in between two defenders. It's in between 2 defenders.
It's a good cross.
Someone's always going to be at fault. I get that, but realistically, it's just a very high quality cross, and it's gone in between 2 defenders. If we did that, you won't be caring what Arsenal player wasn't protecting him.
Phase needed, right, on that corner. Now, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do it today, but when when FaZe is in that position and the ball's coming over, he should be looking around him, not following the ball, watching the ball. He should be looking and be aware of where he is. But he wasn't. He just stands there and he's been caught out that many times this year. It's untrue. He stands there ball watching, and there's a lot of ball watching. And same as, like I put in the photo, Koulibaly, he was there as well. He was standing watching the ball go into the man, take the man. FaZe needed to, like Davies just says, FaZe needed to jump. If he jumped, he might have put the ball, he might have put Marino, or Marino, however his name is pronounced, he might have put him off, or he might have just touched it, he might have cleared it, but not just stand there watching the ball going, oh yeah, someone else will clear that. Yes, it was a good cross. I totally agree on a good cross, but the defending.
But again, this is where in the Premier League you have to be perfect.
But it's basics. It's basics that we're not doing.
But it's not basics because we've done everything in that game up until the 80th minute to stop what we did. For me, I'm not blaming any of them defenders for not getting to that ball. It was a brilliant ball into the middle of the two defenders, and it's going to be hard for either of them to get to it, in my opinion. So I get that people want to blame someone for it, and it's going to be FaZe for it if that's what you're saying, and that's what most people in the chat are saying. But overall, if you play that sort of way against a top 2 position team, you deserve to stay in the league from just that performance alone, and how you've shown that you can get to 0-0 in 80 minutes. You just got to see out that last 10 minutes differently, which I get that, and that people are going to say, oh, it's not. That means that's a relegation side, but I don't know. In my opinion, looking at that game and looking at other games this season, there's every chance we stay up, and I'm not going to the fact of saying, oh, we're relegated already, because we're not.
See, yeah. No, we're not relegated. No team's relegated until they can't get enough points. But how long, sort of Jason's point here, how long can we go with just taking positives out of a game but not actually getting any positive results?
No, I completely get it. I completely get it.
How long can we go? I mean, that is now 5 home games on the trot. And I feel sorry for the fans that keep going. I really do. 5 home games on the trot. If my maths is right, 450 minutes since the last goal against Brighton on the 8th of December. And we've lost all them 5 games as well. We've conceded 2 goals on average since, I think it's 2.5 goals on average since Ruud's been here. We've only scored 9 goals.
No, I completely agree with it. But
all of them were in the first 2 games.
This is where you need to start changing things up. For instance, Koulibaly. When he came on, he was absolutely fantastic. When Mavididi came on, yes, I'd say he was still a bit greedy, but in the attack, at least he was being more direct. If we had Fatawu, he'd be absolutely quality against players, because all he cares about is going direct and getting the ball in the box, whereas Mavididi is a bit more skillful. But it's hard, but you do need to change it. Like I said, you might need to put Buonanotte and Mavididi in the team, but then you would be asking for a bit more exposure at the back. And the people are going to say you've already got exposure at the back anyway, but you've got to be a bit even with what you're doing. You've got to put some players in, but then you've got to be counter-driven. And maybe you put Mavididi on, and then you play AU to block to be a bit more defensive when it comes to defending it. But I don't think putting them front 4 up, as much as I'd like to see it, I don't think we're going to have the quality to defend when it comes to being on the break, which is hard.
This is a fact, not a stat. I'm not sure whether this is a stat or not. Ruud van Nistelrooy's record is a lot poorer than Cuppa's. And that's a fact. That's a
debatable.
Fact. That's a fact.
It's debatable.
No, it's on paper.
No, fact it's right. Fact it's right. But I'd say and you're going to be like, oh, you can't say that. Fixtures were a lot different.
We played 28 games. We played 20. No. How many we played? 24. No, 24.
Yes, no. And I'm saying 25 now, I think. But
25.
What I'm saying is the first, 11 or 12 games that Cooper had before he got sacked, for me, were considerably easier than Ruud's second when he came in my opinion. You had the likes of Man City, you had the likes of Liverpool, you had the likes of Villa, Newcastle, Arsenal. All these, I get that. For instance, Cooper had Arsenal, Spurs, and people like that, but you had the likes of Ipswich, Everton, Southampton. Yes, they've got points out of it.
Yeah, he got 6. He got.
I get
5
it.
points out of them 3 games.
No, I get that, but
just going on
at that
Ben,
moment,
just,
I'm saying in that moment, in that sort of time, people are happy with like a draw against Everton or draw against Ipswich. Now we're feeling it. We should be getting more points than we were back then.
Just going on Ben's comment, I bet your brother's happy, Ben, Matt, being a West Ham fan, having Moyes. They've got 13 points since Moyes turned up. 13 points. They were in the shit, they were, when West Ham got their manager. They were in the shit. They were. And now look at them. They're flying.
I still wouldn't take it. I still wouldn't take him.
I'd have taken a bit more experience, to be honest. Ipswich, another go. Ben, it's the Ben show today. Ipswich went to Villa Park with 10 men and got a result.
Well, they didn't go to Villa Park with 10 men. They went with 11 men.
No, but he knows.
It's
the saying. It's the saying. You played with 10 men for quite for all of the second half. Took the lead. Here's a question for you. Cooper got a draw against Everton, but then he got pumped. Then Ruud van Nistelrooy got pumped 4-0.
Well, the draw against Everton was not deserved.
Doesn't matter. He still got points.
No, I get that. And the Everton game away was it wasn't Ruud's fault. We got pumped 4-0.
I don't get this. Why people say it's not the manager's fault? Nothing against you.
There was a lot of reasons why we conceded so many goals that day, and that was down to defending.
People say it's not the manager's fault when he installs the tactics, gives the information, sets the team up, or has all week to do it. Why is it not the manager's fault? Who installs the tactics?
No, I get that. But who installs phase being off the line of defence? Who picks I know he picks Vestergaard, but the only thing I could blame him for that game is the high line, which I guess is down to Ruud. But I still see there's so much positive in Ruud in what we need to do. I just don't think he's got the quality, and that's maybe where Ruud isn't the right man, because he's trying to play good football in my opinion, but he hasn't got the players to play it. He hasn't. He just hasn't, and that's maybe where we'll have a downfall. And maybe we did need someone like Moyes, because as much as I want to see good football, we just don't have the best players for it, and that's starting to really look like going my head about it. I don't think we do, and that's maybe where we do have to get someone in, because as much as I like Ruud, we probably do need to get someone in who will just bolster the Wolves' defend.
We need. I mean, how many points we got? What we got? 6.
13.
No.
13 games left.
13 games left. Ruud's got 7 points from 36 games.
36 games?
36 points, sorry. He's got 7 points from 36 points available to him.
Yeah.
It's not the best, is it? When you want to get out of this mess, I was trying to choose my words wisely. When you want to get out of this mess that we're in, you need to be keeping clean sheets and scoring goals. We've kept 1 clean sheet. No matter which manager it is under, we've kept 1 clean sheet. He hasn't even looked like keeping a clean sheet yet.
It looked like it was yesterday, mate. Until the 80th, until after the 80th minute. It looked like we were doing very well.
Aggie says he can't see any positives. Wrong comment. Let's get that comment back up.
The issue is, do people expect us to be easy getting out of this relegation zone?
Go on.
This relegation zone now, it's never going to be easy to get a win against Arsenal. It's never going to be easy to beat certain teams. It's just a slug, and you've got to get out of it in some way or the other. And it might, like I say, the Spurs win. No one ever expected that. Realistically, I was hopeful, but no one expected us to beat Spurs. We had, like, the Brighton game, we were 2-0 down. We'll never expected to go and get a draw out of that. I get the point of it, and I get we've been losing a lot of games, but you got to see it. Out of what, the 9 or 10 games we've lost, 6 or 7 of them are big top 8 teams. They are. They are
Well,
big top 8 teams. You've got Newcastle, Villa, Liverpool, Man City, like
Palace,
Arsenal. No, I get
Fulham,
that, and I get that. I get the 3 or 4 teams that
Wolves.
the 3 or 4 teams that we needed to get the points from, and we didn't, is the worst thing about it. Like the Wolves game, the Everton game, and all that. I get that, but after being on a losing streak, after losing to Man City, Liverpool, and Man City, you're going into a game against Wolves where you're like, we'll try our best and whatnot, but it's a slug because you just lost 2 or 3 in a row. It's not going to be easy. You need confidence, and that's where it starts. I thought against Everton after the beating Spurs, you got a big confidence to get in, and then you can see 2 in the 2 minute in 6 minutes. It's just hard. You
I'm
can't
not.
expect us to get straight out of the relegation game by getting a few wins. Everton has, because they've got better players and they're used to being in the Premier League. Obviously, we were, but we've not got the team anymore.
I'm not. Like I say, I'm not Rudkin's biggest fan, but sacking him at the minute wouldn't do one iota, one little bit, unfortunately.
By the time, and I don't want to really get into all this process stuff really, but by the time if he goes today, by the time a new director comes in, sorts all the stuff out, it's not a 2-second thing. It's a couple of year thing.
Yeah.
That by then you could be in League One by then, not because of where we are now, but like for me, it could be a worse thing by getting rid of him, because like we've won everything. We've won the Premier League, we've won the FA Cup, we've won like so many things. To then get rid of someone, and I'm not saying he shouldn't be getting rid of, because there is obviously problems, but by the time it's all processed and whatnot in a couple of years' time, it might be a bad downfall for us.
I reckon you sometimes you hear. We've already discussed this one. I don't think Vardy's becoming a passenger. I think it's because there's no creativity in that final third, giving him the service. I think he's running around like a headless chicken, like he normally does, being a pest like he normally does. But I just don't think he's getting the service, unfortunately. Sometimes you say when you're a player, it's best to go down, rebuild, go to a lower club, come back up, get your confidence. And I think that's what might have to happen if we get rid of anybody at board level. I honestly think it will take time, and it could take up to 2 years, because you have to clear the dead wood out. New bloke has to come in, has to try and sort things out. It's not just a 5-minute job. It doesn't just.
But by then, if you've cleared all the dead wood out, you could be in the bottom of the Championship. You could be in the top of League One.
Look at Luton in the Premiership last year, and now they're bottom. Look like they're going to get relegated to League One.
Exactly. You can't just do something like that. And I get the point of why people want to do it, but you can't just snap your fingers and think it's all going to change. It's not. No chance.
No, it's not. It definitely is. I don't know what that comment's about. Forget that one. Rudkin is a slippery snake that has made money off our club. I'm not sure he's made money. He's probably been paid well. Yes. Let's sort the root of the course. We need new infrastructure to become stronger. Yeah, I think. Behave, Jamie. When he's 58, you're going to say you're not playing to Vardy's. But we're not playing to Vardy's strength, though, Terence, are we? How many times has he had through balls going through? How many times has he been on the back of the play? It's been more defending. I think Vardy has been a great servant, but I think we need to look at another way of playing, unfortunately, without Vardy.
It's true.
Can't keep relying on him. And if we're not going to play to his strengths, which we all know what his strengths are, playing on that last man, putting the ball through, giving him something to run onto, or putting crosses through the corridor of uncertainty in between the goalkeeper and last defender so he can run onto him, then you've got to play to his strengths. And if we're not, you've got to look at a different way.
You've got to find something different. Arsenal did it yesterday. They didn't have a striker. What are we going to do? Put a midfielder up front and score 2 goals?
Yeah. They'd only scored 2 goals all season. He doubled his tally in 15 minutes, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then on the second goal, we've not even talked about the second goal. It was from our corner, or either corner or free kick. Was it a corner or free kick? I can't remember. I think it was a free kick or corner. It was one of the two, wasn't it?
It's a set piece.
It was a set piece, yeah. They broke up field. They had 2, 3 onto 4. 4 defenders. But then I thought Christensen had a good game. But until that moment, it ruined it for me because he wasn't tracking back. And it was clear he was about 4 or 5 yards off the player when he put the ball in the back of the net. I don't know. I really don't know. It's just simple mistakes all the time. I know you can't. I know you get caught up in the moment. You're defending. You're going for. Sorry, not defending. You're attacking. You're going for an equaliser. Fair play, but get that line set up.
But this is relegation for us, mate. Like, I'm not saying we're relegation. I'm saying this is relegation zone for you. Like, now, like the moment we concede, it's got to be someone's fault. It's got to be the reason why we've conceded. Like, it's just a good cross. Like any other day, if we're winning that game and they score, we couldn't give a shit. All because we're losing games and we're conceding goals. We always have to put a blame on someone. For me, we did everything we could in that 80 minutes. Just the last 10 minutes, their quality showed through. And that, for me, is the reason we lost the game. Not because of our errors. Their quality beat us. I
mean, I think this is how close we were to winning. He actually tripped over. He was stumbling and he got it. He just happened to, if he hadn't fallen over, I think Reed would have put the ball in the back of the net. So he wouldn't have got there. But because he fell over, he gave him a bit more impetus and he managed to just, I don't know how he got the ball. I thought it was in the back of the net. You watched my reaction on the watch along yesterday and I thought it was in. And then he just saw it and it gone out. And then you saw it. He actually was falling over. He tripped. And because he tripped, that's why he got there. And it was, I know that it's fine margins. And I think we'd have gone on to win that if that had gone in the back of the net. So I think Arsenal would have blown up because they were already falling over everything, weren't they?
Yeah.
All the normal trick. Yes, I would bring some of the youth in by time. I don't think Mongo can play in the Premiership though.
I couldn't tell you.
Because he's still 15. I don't think he's allowed. Evans can. I think Mongo's because he's 15. I'm sure. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure I've read somewhere because he's 15 that he can't. He can play in the cup games because it's a different set of rules in the cup. I know it doesn't matter now, but he can. But I don't think he can play in the Premiership.
I couldn't tell you.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think he's got to be 16 before. The owners aren't interested. Yes, they weren't there. I'm just going to talk about. I mean, we've talked about the game, we've talked about the defeats, everything else. We weren't really going to talk about it, but the protest, really. I know you weren't really into the protest, nor was I. I don't think Phil was neither.
I think we should say to begin with. I think we should say to begin with that everyone has a right to do what they want.
Oh yeah.
We're not saying it's wrong to do so. We're just saying that if you want to do it, you can do it. As long as it's not violent or all this and whatnot.
Everyone has a right to say what they want to say. Perfectly right. The only thing, I can't see why they thought it was going to work yesterday. I'm not sure. It might 500, 600. Well, that's different from what I've heard from the actual leader of the protest. He said about 250 from the actual bloke. That Project Reset, he put about 250 down. So, and then the walking down Raw Dykes Road with the videos, most fans walked down there anyway. So it looked like more than what it actually was. Patrick says it was the biggest damp squid. There wasn't that many. There wasn't much of a protest, totally waste of time, Stephen, yes. But when it came to the 14th minute, which I thought was wrong, doing it in the ground, using something that was 7 years old. No, was it 7 years old? 2008? I can't remember when Silver was. Something like when it was like Adrian Silver. All I heard, literally, from the camera, because I was watching it on TV, of course, very little. I heard the Rudkin out chant on the 14th minute, and we nearly scored. That was a moment we nearly scored. We nearly scored on that 14th minute, and that would have been the biggest two fingers up to the protest if that had gone in the back of the net. I think I think Vardy had a very half chance on the 14th minute. I can't exactly remember. But if that had gone in, that would have been the biggest 2-50. Would they start cheering or would they carried on saying Rudkin out?
I don't know, but all I mentioned was we were in the ground as well. And if I'm totally honest, it's been louder on a day that's not meant to be a protest day. It has been louder last game against whoever it was at home. I can't remember now, but it was louder then. It was louder the game before that at home. It was worse for me yesterday. It wasn't that loud at all. It felt like it was all building up to the 14th minute, everyone talking about it, and it basically just was nothing in the way. And I will mention that from what Project Reset was actually talking about, and I don't know, like, from what I've read and whatnot, they said it wasn't about getting anyone sacked. It wasn't about getting Top to sell the club or Rudkin sacked. It was about getting a stable, board, leadership role sort of thing, where there's like certain people have certain jobs and whatnot. But for me, it was just a Rudkin out protest.
Yeah.
All them screens that you saw at the local area and whatnot, it was just all Rudkin to clown, Rudkin's this, Rudkin's that. I didn't think that Project Reset was like about Rudkin out. It just felt like it was a witch hunt for Rudkin, which again, people have their own views, and then they can, if they want to say anything, they can do. It's a free world. You can say what you want, and if you want to protest, fair enough. But I didn't think Project Reset was about getting Rudkin out. I thought it was more about the leadership and the board and how it was run.
It's about engaging with the fans, Nick. Chapster. Yes, I totally understand. But football has changed now, more of a business than it was 20, 30 years ago. In my dinosaur years, old school, whatever you want to say. Football has changed where there was a huge interaction. It's more of a business now. And you don't see many CEOs of companies talking to the media. Not just football, but you don't see many at all talking. I know these haven't talked to them. And Owen said that, Owen Palmer-Atkins has always said that they've asked the press and the media, whoever it is in the club, if they can have an interview. No, you're not doing it. They've always been denied, and they've done it for ages and ages. So you're never going to hear it. But it's separate entities now. That's the only thing. The club and the fans, they're not linked anymore. I think that's what they needed to be protesting more about than just Rudkin out, Rudkin out. Because it's a bigger picture than one man.
Yeah.
One man doesn't make that. One man isn't bigger than the club. Yes, Adam. It is a badly run club, but it's not just Rudkin. It's everything. No, I was there that game. Yes, it was nothing like the Sheffield Wednesday game. Now that was a protest and a half. The Sheffield United game, that was a protest and a half. That really was. That was the day where O'Neill came out to the fans and said, you and you, come in and we'll speak to you. And they spoke to him. That wouldn't happen nowadays. It would not happen. The amount of bodyguards you have around players and managers now, you would get nowhere near them. That would not happen at all. But it's a different time. It's a different time at all. Rudkin and Whelan, Glover, plus a few others probably on the back room, yes. Barry Pierpoint, there was plenty of protest for his head. Yes, he left. Yeah, he left under a bit of a cloud. I've spoke to him since then, but he's all right with the club now. The only problem I have, Nick, was Top wasn't there. Yeah, Top decided he doesn't come back every game though, does he? He's not there every single game, really, is he? That's the problem.
No, he doesn't go every game. But again, he's got other jobs, like Rudkin has. I get the point of it, but he's not just the owner of King Power or the of Leicester City. He's the owner of many other things, and he's got other jobs. I get, like, he has got the duty-free business. He has got all the other things to consider. So I get it, but
Terence, do you mean on the players or on the management, on the board? I'm not quite sure. Rodgers out, Cooper out. This chanting must have some effect. Do you mean on the players or actually like
I think it means because both of them managers got sacked for us calling him out.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Is he on about? Is he? Yeah, I'm not. I know what he's on. I know what he's saying, but does he mean against the team or against the actual board level management people? I'm not quite sure which one he means there, but I'd like to know which one he meant. Nick says it makes us look like we're scared.
Looks like he's scared of the protest. Yeah.
Again, who's scared of the protest? The club, the players,
Top.
the fans.
He's talking about Top because he wasn't there.
But like I say, he doesn't come every single game. That's the thing. How do you know he hasn't got things planned? Fair enough. Like you say, we can all moan and groan. Over the years I've been on here, I've had a moan and a groan about loads of things. You're entitled to have a moan and a groan. Say what you like. Absolutely say what you like. It doesn't bother me. It's just get the timing right and get it. I mean, that was done in what? That protest was done in 3 weeks. It wasn't very well organised. If you want to build something, you build it, you build on it, and you get it organised properly. Not just, meet at the local hero, then put photos on of saying, look at the build-up here, there's thousands of people here. And that was what the normally was at the local hero anyway, apart from another couple apart towards 11:30, 12:15. It's a little bit of false advertising how the play. Yes, it was in the media, but it needs to be built from the ground up. It takes time to build something. It takes time to build anything. Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say. You have to just take time. But like I say, you can protest if you want, but just get your timings right. Andrew, what? Who is? I think it's Top, isn't it?
Must be.
Top's boss. It's got to be.
Must be, yeah.
Chaps, so the board couldn't handle a Martin O'Neill, but they need one to tell them what at stake. There's only one person for me that will tell them what state they're in. Big Nige. Yeah, only made the national media the night and the morning before. That was all. It didn't. Something like that, you need to build and build and build and get people on TV. Instead of hiding behind a keyboard, you need to put yourself in front. There was no official spokesman, was there? You need to put yourself in front, get interviews, do stuff like that. Build and build, not hide behind a keyboard. And, we're doing this, we're meeting here, sitting in a van, driving around with a picture of Rudkin as a clown, which I think is terrible, which is wrong. You might not like him, but there's no need to do things like that. What's that one? It's not always ground up, Jamie. Remember, shit can't roll downhill.
You can.
Well, it can. It can roll downhill. Actually, Mark. It depends how big the slope is. It can. Think about it. But if you're the one making it roll, then I wouldn't want to shake your hand. Agree, Big Nige, but he has form, sat 3 times. Yeah, I know. The fan base is very toxic. It is. I'm surprised there wasn't some blue on blue yesterday, actually. I thought there might have been. But yeah, we roll on to Brentford. We're not going to talk much about Brentford, but Brentford hadn't won in 9 away games. Then they win 3 games on the bounce, and our next game is against Brentford at home. They'll be going for their 4th away win on the trot, Reedy. It's not looking good, is it?
Shock. They have the worst record away from home, and now the moment they come to us, they've had 3 wins back to back away.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
Big West Ham, I know. It's unbelievable, isn't it? It feels that Rudkin acts independently to Top. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't want to answer that. I don't know how it works up there, so I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you how it actually works up there at all. I don't know about board level. I don't know. I really don't know. Another day, same crap. Yeah. Hopefully talking about the football. So it's the same thing we're talking about really, week in, week out. It's like Matt Piper said it yesterday. It's like a broken record.
Yeah.
So we're keeping you up. I mean, it's only bloody, what time is it? 10 o'clock. We're keeping you up, pal.
No. Just getting bored of talking football now, isn't it? Same week, same shit every week.
Week out. It's like Matt Piper said yesterday on the when you podcast. It's like a broken record. It's the same thing. How long can you keep taking positives out of the game but not actually getting any positives? from points wise.
Yeah, well, I did say that if you don't get a result against Brentford or West Ham now, I cannot see us staying up, if I'm totally honest. Because of the
Jamie, you hit the nail on the head. You don't have to watch this crap. Are you talking about the football or me and Reedy waffling on? I'm not sure there. Yes, I did read the statement. So it looks like Top was lying to, or whoever interviewed him was lying to Van Nistelrooy about the money. Another home game on a Friday night without, and yeah, 6. I mean, that will break the record, won't it? That will break the record. We joined an elite club of 3 teams: Sheffield Wednesday, Birmingham, and Norwich, who have lost 5 games on the trot at home without scoring. We'll break. I mean, we used to break records for fun. Now we're breaking the wrong records. Tony, I'll tell you what, it wouldn't bother me if you were talking about me and Reedy talking a load of shit, to be honest. Live chat with the Wafflers. Yes, it certainly is. Going back to 1920, if we don't score. No, well, yeah, that's the Sheffield Wednesday one, isn't it? 1920. Norwich did it 4 years ago, but it's awful. It's awful knowing. That's for another day. I don't think even Ruud knows.
That's for our tactics show.
That's even blimey, I don't even know whether you know who's our best 11 readers, to be honest. Righty all, lads and lasses. Much appreciated you joining me. Sorry I can't bring you happier news. It'd be great. Craig Hendry, Mr. Sixer, let's just see what he said is. The fact that we keep saying the same thing surely means that the squad simply isn't good enough and we're overplaying average. Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree with that we are playing the same.
The only thing we can hope for today is Wolves lose to Liverpool.
Yeah, yes. This comment, I heard that. He actually said the PSR rules came in to stop clubs like Leicester getting in on smaller clubs. Like, I'll even bring Ipswich and a little bit of Notts Forest actually winning. I know they're exception to the rule this year, but they broke the rules 2 years ago, didn't they? To stop clubs joining the party, joining that top 6 party. And it's worked. It stopped the smaller clubs doing it. It's shown by last year, the 3 clubs went up, came down. This year, it looks like the 3 clubs that went up came down. It's a huge difference when they come up. But yeah, I think the PSR rules are hurting the smaller clubs bigger than the bigger clubs, to be honest. Calling a shock win. It'd be the most Leicester thing ever, doesn't it? It would be the most Leicester thing to do.
It's not even a shock win, though, is it? Realistically, our best chance in staying up now is by beating them or West Ham. It's not a shock win. We just got to win it.
We need at least 6 wins out of the next 13 games.
And the last 4 are doable. You just have to get the wins here.
Need 18 points. Like I said to you yesterday, he stopped speaking to me years ago, so I don't know why. I've never said anything to him. But yeah, we need 18 points from the next 13 games. 6 wins. Need to win half the games.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Reader, we shall see you later.
Bye-bye.
Will you be going to Bournemouth away? Terence just saying, are you going Bournemouth away?
It depends where we are at that point.
That's the last game of the season, isn't it?
No, I know. It depends if we're there, if we're able to win.
Oh, right.
If we're already gone, if we're gone, I'm sorry, I'm not going.
You can have a weekend down there, pal. You can have a weekend down there.
Oh, no. I'm joking. I probably will go.
You probably will go. You know you will. You know you will. Reedy, we shall see you later, mate. Be good.
Bye-bye.
Have fun. Well, another fine show. It's been a privilege once again. Terence, yes, he's booked a... Oh, sorry, wrong. Terence says, yes, he's booked a hotel already. Yes, we need snookers. There's no easy reds over the pockets at the minute, is there, Patrick? Unfortunately, we're behind the yellow ball at the minute. Unfortunately, don't think we need 18 points, Jamie. 4 wins, 12 points, 29. Do you think 29 points would stay up? Really? Ooh. Ooh, I'm not sure about that, pal, but I like your thinking. I hope if it does, Craig, you get free. If 29 points keeps us up, Craig, you get free breakfast in the Fox's Arms when you turn up. But yeah, I'd just like to say thank you once again for watching me waffle on and waffle on. I love it. I love you lot turning up to watch the original Leicester City football Sunday morning football show. Absolutely fantastic. Just before I go, a little bit of homework for you. Please like and share whatever platform you're watching us on, whether it's on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter. Like and share. Much appreciated. Once again, thanks for watching me. Cheers for joining. So it's ciao, ciao, adios, goodbye. Todd's veins. There goes the final whistle. Come on, you Foxes.
The Leicester City machine is on the march again.
Leicester Fan TV presents a variety of content like fan discussions, match analysis, and engaging with Leicester fans worldwide. We want your views live, thanks to our sponsors, Everard's, Pucker Pies, Hologram, Take Me, Newbie & Co, and the Fox's Arms.
Want to watch more content like this? Hit the like button. Give us your views. Hit subscribe to Leicester Fan TV and make sure to follow Leicester Fan TV on all socials.